Gloria, Arkansas de jure Assembly. Hi, Sherilyn. Do you see me? I'm not able to hear you, Sherilyn.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and call the meeting to order. Welcome to the Arkansas de jure Assembly meeting. If you're new, welcome to our assembly, where we discuss how we want to go about the process of holding our public servants accountable for infringing on our natural rights. A people's assembly is not a new concept. It is the fourth arm of the government, and the exclusive voice of we the people. It is exactly what the First Amendment is talking about when it states that we have the right to peacefully assemble and to petition our government and redress our grievances. This is not a new concept. The assemblies did exist in the past and lawfully held their public servants accountable for infringing on the rights of the people. But 100 years of Rockefeller government has dumbed us down to what the people's true power is. The government that we have currently seeing in power is a de facto government, meaning that this is not lawful. This is not the system that our forefathers implemented or envisioned in our country. If you are not looking to be an officer position, you can serve on the committee or just show up to vote. Okay. Gloria, would you like to lead us in a prayer?
I'm a Catholic, so I apologize for the Pope right now, but I say this prayer nightly, so I'd like to share it with you all. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. Amen. That would be the end of the prayer.
Okay. Okay. Now I'll start the roll call. President.
Present.
And I'm the Vice President. This is Sherilyn Broderick. Also, welcome to our Zoom. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Linda and Cindy, would you like to introduce yourself to the assembly, please? Linda first, maybe.
I don't see their microphones on.
Sherilyn, do you have to unmute them or do they unmute themselves?
I don't know if I can, let me see.
Linda, are you able to respond?
I'm not seeing how I can mute them though. I don't think I muted anyone.
Let's try Cindy. Cindy, are you able to speak to the assembly?
Your mute button is on the bottom left-hand side of the screen.
Sherilyn, let's continue.
Okay,
And
Rick is here. I'd say, would you like to speak, Rick?
I have nothing to say right now.
Okay,
It took me a minute just to get my picture up here to figure that out. So I think I'm technically challenged, and maybe others are too, trying to learn this.
okay. Okay, the next thing I would, the approval of the minutes from our previous meeting. Does anyone have any corrections of last week's minutes? I didn't know of any. So I guess,
I'm unable to make a motion because I wrote the minutes, so you and Rick would need to
Okay.
decide if they were acceptable.
Yeah, I make a motion to accept the meeting's minutes
okay,
as written.
I say yay too, so. Okay.
Thanks,
and-
David.
Okay, now I'll report on the officers. I don't know if, do you have anything or do you want to wait until the next one to do yours, Gloria?
I'd like to announce Rick as the food committee officer. And he has been given information on several people that were interested. Unfortunately, they're not here. However, we'll publish in the minutes that he will contact them. Rick, do you know how you would like to contact them?
What I have so far is 3 people with 3 phone numbers. What I have done, I've created a special email address for the food directory, and I'll read it into the minutes. So it should be active in a few days. I have signed up 2 days ago, and they send a postcard to confirm the address. And I signed it up as a business. It seemed to be appropriate in the sense they have some marketing promotions that you can participate in. So let me read that. People want to contact me by email, not email. Yeah, email. It's ARDJA. So Arkansas de jure assembly .food directory @gmail.com. Now, if you'd like, I can read you my phone number, or maybe not. I don't know how you want to do that. I tried to, with my phone, to sign up to Telegram, and somehow my Apple Model 6 is a little bit outdated. It can't seem to accept that website. So I do have a newer phone, and I may sign up and switch my phone system to that. So maybe in Telegram, I'll show up in a few days or a week. But meanwhile, people can contact me, or I can give them a phone number, or I don't know how you want to proceed with that. Do you know, Gloria?
When I'm thinking, can I say something about Telegram? I think Sherilyn had problems too. And she ended up using a Gmail account, right, Sherilyn?
That was G-Force that I had problems getting
Oh,
on.
it was GeForce. Okay, that doesn't,
Yeah,
okay, it's not
It
the
was
same.
G-Force that was really hard for me to get on.
Yeah, somehow my
Okay.
iPhone, it says it does not recognize the website. And it seems like the only options to Telegram are phone options. It doesn't seem to be, or an Apple computer. I do have an old one, but it's outdated and I can't, it's not being supported by Apple anymore. So now I have a new, Microsoft, Mr. Gates computer, and there's no format that way. So I have to, I'll consider switching my phone system to that larger phone. It's just real bulky for me to carry, and I was always hesitant. But we may do it if we need to. I-
With your phone number, I don't mind, like, if we give it to the individual members that request to be on that committee, but I don't want to post that
Fine.
like on the website. So we'll use that email for public disclosure, like if they want to join.
Okay.
And then the people that were interested in food, I will give them your phone number to contact you.
Yes, thank you. And I will contact those 3 people. I did speak to one of them already, and she gave me some help with trying to do a Zoom meeting call for the food directory. So I haven't got to that yet. I figured we'd have this meeting today, and then I'll set that up once I figure out the technical issues and and then we can start having a meeting and discuss things and get a little more specific and move down the road.
If you want to test the Zoom, Sherilyn and I would be glad to help. We work until about 3:30 every day,
Okay,
but if you set up a test meeting around what time, Sherilyn? 3:30 or 4?
Yeah, that would be fine. with
all
me.
right. I'll make a note of that.
And we can respond to that. So if you want to do it, or if you want to do it, well, tonight's not good because we also have the Florida Assembly to attend. But,
Yeah,
if you set it up tomorrow for like 3:30 or 4
okay,
and invite Sherilyn and I, then we will connect to your Zoom at the time that you state.
okay.
And we'll work with you to get that so you feel comfortable with it.
All right, I'll play with it tomorrow. I'll figure out how to do it. So I'll call you, or yeah, I'll just call you both. Okay, and then you
No,
can.
do you know how to, so what I want you to do is post an invite.
Post it on GeForce, you mean, or?
Yeah, post it in GeForce because both Sherilyn and I go in there.
Okay, so
And
I can post it in
call it a
GeForce.
test. Call
Okay,
it a test so that we don't get any public in there.
okay,
Call it a test Zoom. And then Sherilyn and I will connect.
all right, very good. So we'll proceed with that tomorrow. I don't really have anything else to talk about. I figured we just wait till we have our first meeting and then we can proceed that way. What do you recommend?
I think that's a great idea,
right.
and we'll help you get comfortable with the Zoom so that works great for
Okay,
you.
very good. Okay. I guess I'm
I
done
just
unless you have
wanted-
some questions.
That's
Janine and Rose just texted me. They are trying to join the Zoom meeting and having trouble. Can we invite them, Sherilyn?
I'm not sure. I don't know if there's, oh, there's Rose. Rose is on now.
They're inside the friends room trying to get in the meeting.
Okay. I don't know of what I can do to get them in.
Okay,
I think we might be here. I don't know.
I
Can you hear us?
hear
I
audio.
hear one of them.
Okay, this is Rose and Janine.
Yeah,
Hello, ladies. Welcome to the meeting.
Oh, hi, thank you.
I'm glad you can make it.
Okay, I'll go on with my report. I have the website up now, and it's Arkansas Jure Assembly.com or .net. You can go on to either one and it'll take you to it. It's still under construction. I still have some work to do on it. And Gloria just told me that Tom is going to hook me up with somebody that'll help me, and Um, So that ought to be good. And also, I was going to tell you on the website, it has our email address and a post office box. And I guess it's, I figure as we go public, I'll be working on it more and more. And I also have been working on the brochures and the leaflets. So we can get them ready for the bike and car show next weekend at the Hot Springs Mall.
Excuse me, do you mind posting it on G4 so I could see it written out?
Yes.
The website, actually, yeah, make a link.
Okay, I can do that.
Yeah, because I can't spell very good and I always make mistakes.
Okay. And at the, I talked to Janet. I don't know if y'all know her, Janet Hutter. She said she's going to be at this bike and car show, and she's going to bring a tent and some chairs. So that'd probably be good if it's outside because it'll probably be hot. And also, I think we still are planning on, or I'm thinking about going to the Freedom, what was it called? The Freedom Rally in Russellville on the 24th.
The World Freedom Rally, and that's actually an international World Freedom Alliance. They've done rallies in Trafalgar Square, etc. So that's a big rally.
And I guess the next thing is the report of the meeting, which I think Rick's already talked about his part of it. But I don't see Cheryl on here, Gloria. So do you want to talk about the budget? I know you don't have much.
So Cheryl introduced herself last week's meeting as someone willing to work on the budget. She has a 4-year degree, and she has stepped up into budget officer. Other assemblies were telling us they completed the budget in about 2 months, but they had teams of accountants. So we are looking for anyone in the assembly with an accounting degree. Is there anyone present?
Can't even balance a checkbook. Wonderful. Did you hear that?
Someone said they could balance a checkbook.
I said I can't.
Oh, me neither. Okay, well, if any of you guys has friends that's in accounting, tell them that we're trying to set up a de jure assembly and we need accounting people. And we can't pay them, but they would be helping the world be a better place.
I could talk to my tax lady and ask her advice. Do you have any idea what it entails? It may not be that expensive to hire a professional if we have to.
We have no money because we're not even operating in the public yet. So
I know, but I could always donate even though I don't have any money. That's a consideration.
So as a professional, she needs to know it's going to require a huge amount of volunteer time, so she might not be
open to
that. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Very good. Thank you. I understand.
Thank you for offering. If she's willing, I mean, maybe she could do it as a consulting to look at what we produce.
Do you have any idea how many hours? Are you talking days, months, weeks of work? What could be so complicated since we have no money?
What's so complicated is that the budget is requiring Freedom of Information Acts to get the detail required for ratification. So
I haven't a clue what that means.
Freedom of Information Act is, so when you look at the Arkansas state budget, it's not just one spreadsheet. There are hundreds of spreadsheets with budgets on them. And they have to be gone through to make sure that the assembly does not sponsor agencies such as the Department of Human Services, which is currently vaccinating people in homes without asking their permission or giving informed consent. So we don't want to fund that behavior. So we would have to look at in detail what each of the departments is spending on COVID and vaccination measures, Also, we don't agree with critical race theory or the transgender education. So we would need to go through the Department of Education budget to make sure that that's eliminated. And there's the child trafficking and CPS. So there's a lot of things happening which are being used in the depopulation agenda, which we would not be willing to fund in the budget. So we need Freedom of Information Acts to disclose what these large amounts of money are actually paying for. And that is going to take time and a lot of postage and a lot of letters.
Is that how other assemblies are doing it? They all have to go through this extensive process to do this?
Well, I know Florida mentioned it had taken them 2 months to do theirs, and their state is not closed. Now, Texas, I don't recall what he said, but they were a closed state worse than Arkansas. And their governor was kind of like Whitmer, very bad. And they're still struggling with Abbott, but they did come up with a budget. However, it was modeled differently. Like the Florida Assembly set up their budget where they removed the departments that were questionable and funded the rest of the government. The Texas budget appeared to be more of, this is the People's Assembly, and if you are in the government and want funding, you have to apply on a project basis.
What's wrong with that? It seems like a fast way to do it and puts the burden on them instead of us, which we don't have any experience or a budget.
Well, both ways require a tremendous amount of labor on our part. And you have to think about transition. So if they transition from what's currently going on to the assembly form of government, we do not know what they do, right? We know they have power and electricity and, water. And, we know some of these things, but what about programs? I don't know, like the city inspector. Do we know how many city inspectors there are, what they're doing, if it's effective? So if you're going to have them come in on a project basis, you have to know how many people are working for the state government, where they're working, what they're doing, and each one of those has to be submitted for ratification for funding. So that's just as onerous as a Freedom of Information Act, right?
If I may ask, how, it seems like we're falling into a really complicated trap, but maybe that's the way it has to be. But will these people even know that something has changed in the world if we go ahead and fund things like they were used to? They have no concept that this is even happening. The only way they would even realize that something has changes in the world is if they don't have any money. And then they have to have some self-responsibility to step up, because this is a new fact of life and we're doing it. Why should they be excluded and be actually detrimental to their own self-development to be self-responsible and educated? Nothing like having no money to get you up to speed. You see what I'm saying?
Well, the US government corporation went bankrupt several months ago.
Yeah, and they don't even know.
Bankrupt for about 2 years, and the Federal Reserve has failed to step up. They have failed to step up. They've failed to attend meetings. So they already don't have money. The Global Repository has replaced the Federal Reserve because the Federal Reserve did not step up. And
I understand.
We can't make them step up. But what we're concerned about is the loss of humanity as a consequence of this occurring. And so by designing an emergency budget, we're hoping to save as many people as possible from the disruption in system.
I had a thought and all of a sudden it escaped me. it seems like the responsibility would be theirs, and they have the way to get around Freedom of Information Act quickly. They have the lawyers, they have the budget. If they realize you're the funding source, they're going to be dancing to your tune and be very and they'd be doing the work because it's for themselves, you see, in a sense.
This has been going on for 2 years and they have not realized that the
Well,
money is
when
done.
there's no money and there's hunger, then they'll realize. But
But you see that part
yeah.
of the World Economic Forum and the Great Reset is that they intended for there to be no money, and they intended in population reduction as a consequence of that. What we're doing as assemblies
I
is
see.
attempting to stop the starvation mechanism of the Great Reset, because we do not want the depopulation to occur.
I understand your point.
We're
Yes.
acting as a rescue budget and we're trying to be seamless.
Okay.
We also don't want to pay them to continue to have bad behavior. Does that
So
make sense?
yeah, it's very clear. Are you saying all the other assemblies are doing the very same thing for the same intention? Or is
I
this
am-
just
so
this
this is-
Arkansas?
No, we are following, if you look on lifeforce.global,
Mhm.
there was a budget workshop and we went very quickly from making a budget for the assembly to now having to plan a budget for our entire state, because something, Cheryl, you watched that. What happened? It was the Federal Reserve collapsed, right? The Federal Reserve failed to work with the global repository, and they're refusing to work with the global repository, and they're bankrupt. So that's the Great
Yeah, but none
Reset
of that
right
is
there.
evident to society. They don't even know that. They don't even believe it. I think Kim was on a radio show with Chris today, and he asked the very same questions. He doesn't believe it. Nobody believes it. So what a better way to get the belief is when you see it collapse. I mean, doesn't mean you can't have the budget, an emergency one ready. I don't know. Just
Our
something to
goal
consider.
is not to allow the Great Reset and the Great Collapse, because what that translates into is starvation and chaos.
Yeah, and it's hard to come back
We
from that.
cannot allow that. We have to pay to feed the elderly in nursing homes,
Okay.
because this Great Reset is going to be worse than a hurricane or an earthquake or a fire. This is not going to be over in a week. When they do this is going to cause havoc for a long time.
Okay,
And
one more
what
quick
our
question.
concern- Can I finish? Our concern is the humanitarian support during this attempt to destroy the population. And the
That may-
only way that we can see to do that effectively is to provide a emergency budget, because they've already shut down. We're just running on momentum, essentially. Inflation's over 50%. I don't know if you remember when Venezuela went under or
Yeah.
when Russia went under. We are on a fiat currency, which is experiencing extreme inflation. And I would say very shortly, the momentum is going to stop.
Well, maybe the question I was going to ask, do we know that the Kim or the GIA will approve our kind of budget, in the sense, since we have no experience with it? We don't know how technical we have to be.
No, we do know.
Do we?
We-
Okay.
We know that it has to be down to the hourly salary. So
It seems like quite a huge burden and leap, a huge body of work. Yeah. It's going
Well,
to slow. Yeah.
unfortunately for Arkansas, this assembly is very new. Some of the other assemblies have known about this for 10 years. Arkansas did not have an assembly prior to us filing, and we are really late in the game. But yes, it's a lot of work. Yes, we have a lot of recruitment to do. And yes, we have to believe that at least we can achieve something, if not everything. So we have to give it our best shot. We're late in the game, but we're trying.
These other assemblies you mentioned, are they, do they have any sort of funding, like with the Kim program, for example? They don't have
Well,
any funding.
Gloria,
What's
we're
the
not
use of
running
them?
it.
True.
Oh, go ahead.
I got a,
I believe,
We got 1 minute, Gloria. Do you?
Oh, I'm sorry. Too many
uh,
questions.
we can resume this in 15 minutes. So what I'd like to say is there are 17 ratified assemblies and they are listed at the National Committee of Safety. And they
Okay,
will be having funding, emergency funding. I
okay,
will
very
see you
good.
guys in 15 minutes on the part 2 call to finish this discussion.
Okay.
Thank you. Good night, everyone.
good night. Do you have to click on it? I have no idea.
I just got a message that there's no